This is Rougham Station 468. This airfield was constructed during 1941-1942 to accommodate up to 3,000 personnel. For a brief period, the 47th Bomb Group was stationed here with their A-20 Havoc aircraft. As they moved on, the 322nd Bomb Group arrived in December 1942, with their aircraft arriving in May 1943. During May 1943, an operation was performed from this base. 12 Marauder aircraft took off. None returned. The entire squadron moved to Earl's Colne, and the 94th Bomb Group with their B-17s came here in June 1943. 324 operations were flown by the 94th Bomb Group, and 153 B-17s were listed as missing in action. 153 B-17s, and that was just from this airfield alone. 7,000 personnel were turned round from this airfield. There were 2,000 casualties and 1,000 fatalities. There now follows a tribute to all the aircrew that flew from the Suffolk countryside but never returned. At the end of the sequence, the last post will be played. And I would ask you to just reflect for a moment where you're standing on these aircrew that never returned. You will hear a mission briefing where the pilots and their crews are given the task of the operation. You will hear vehicles driving out to the parked aircraft on the hard standings. You will hear B-17s starting up. Yes, I did say B-17s. You will hear B-17s starting up. You will hear B-17s taxiing and taking off. And you will also hear B-17s fly over. At times this sequence will be quite loud. But in memory of all those aircrew that never returned, you could not turn the volume of a B-17 down in 1943. So why should we turn the volume of a B-17 down in 2016? So let's go back 73 years as the echoes of the past come alive once more.
The men crowd into the operations hut, under the windsock, traditional as the yellow flag of quarantine. This is the briefing, the final how, where, when, and why of the raid.
I have your attention, please, gentlemen. Pilots have all checked their crews. Everybody present and accounted for. For a long time, we've all been working very hard. The work has been grueling, it's produced results, and our standard of performance is very high. The fact is, however, unless that standard of performance remains high on an actual enemy target, all our work is going to go for nothing. Today we have an enemy target. Gentlemen, this is the real thing. This is the first operational mission we're going on. Now, you've all been issued your maps. You will note that the target is RP9X55. You will find that the recognition of the actual target area, if you follow your maps, will not be a matter of very great difference. As you come in from the southwest, you pass a range of rather high hills, ending in a knob of rock, which sticks up quite a considerable distance. You will note that to the left of the knob as you approach. And not very many miles away is a lake. You progress past that lake, and you will pick up the area of the town without very much difficulty. Remember, when you approach the town, what your indicated altitude is going to be. Remember that you are not to go below that indicated altitude. Now, as you approach the area, you're going to run into rather heavy concentrations of flak. That flak has to be watched for. You've got to deal with it as you've been taught to deal with it.
We have time check. Gentlemen, it is coming up on 45. I shall count the 5. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. That's all.